All right, so let's do a little voice recording first. Yeah, let's do a voice recording thing. It's easier just to talk and walk than have to aim it at my face and stuff. There's an Instagram comment, insert here. And yeah, we'll also have some video of some fun adventurings I've had today out here in this park somewhere. But anyway, so the comment reads, let's see, go on a date or something. You always try to write it off, but I'd be willing to bet you jizz your pants if tension started building up with a man you thought was passable. Passable? What is this? So, yeah, I mean, it's a little more complicated than that, isn't it? You know, I do write it off because, well, where is this? Where are these dates? Is there an address? Is there, you know? I kind of wrote off the whole dating thing many years ago with, like, online stuff. You know, it was right after I finished the Grero book. And, yeah, I posted in the profile thing and, you know, but nobody really was that interested in it. You know, it's like, hey, here's a guy who wrote something, let's read it. Hey, this is interesting, let's talk about it. Or, you know, people who have similar, you know, it's a good filter, I think, but it was such a great filter that I couldn't really find anybody, you know, and it wasn't just, oh, those hookup sites, I don't, you know, whatever. I don't do that. Not too interested in that, but, you know, I what was it, OkCupid, was that a thing? Is that a thing now? But these kind of places. And again, no one's really that interested. And as a result, people aren't that interesting to me. It's not that everyone has to. This was what, 2014, 15? Good Lord. How many years ago was that? It just was extremely frustrating that you look around and it's like, no one's really that interesting. You know, no one is, oh, hey, you wrote this book, okay, and I do this other thing. It just seems more kind of boring. No offense to boring people everywhere. You know, it just, there isn't, yeah, there isn't a sort, it's not even about one person per se. It's, okay, is there a community somewhere? You know, this has been the thing with leaf blowers, right? Is, okay, is there a place where people know each other well enough to where this bullshit doesn't happen 24/7? Like today, Left Bozo was busy cutting some trees out of his yard or something. And instead of finishing it an hour or so, like every 20 minutes you could hear the chainsaw. They were taking their sweet time, you know, with it. And is there a place where you have enough of anything worth calling a community where, you know, you can say, hey, let's do all the loud stuff like on Friday or something. If you have to have a tree cut out, it's not an emergency, it can be scheduled. Let's do it Fridays. Let's do lawnmowers on Fridays. And never leaf blowers, because we're not assholes here, right? That doesn't exist, right? So it's a little deeper than just, oh, go on a date. It's like there's just nothing anywhere, you know? It's kind of depressing, it's kind of blackpilling, but that's unfortunately, I think, the reality. And, you know, there are, as I've said before, you know, there's 8 billion people on this miserable planet. So maybe there's a few people around. It's just, how the fuck do you find them? You know? Like, I've been out here, you know, since, what, 3 p.m. I kind of came out here late, but it'd be nice to live in a place like this. Now, down where I was taking the pictures that you'll probably see at the end of this video, it was kind of, dogs are barking, so even that's kind of annoying. Like, can we just have one quiet place? But this is fine. This is good enough right here. Where do you move to get a nice quiet place like this? You know, if you're close enough to neighbors, well, there's no guarantee they're not going to be loud assholes, right? Okay, is there a community where, no, we just discussed that. There's nothing. No, sorry, doesn't exist. So it's more than just, you know, it's more than just finding a date or going, come on. And am I rambling? I don't feel like I'm kind of getting it out there, but we'll try our best here. And it was just frustrating, you know. Going back to the book, it's I don't know what interesting things are people doing, you know. Are they? But they don't. you know. And there just isn't that compatibility with other people. I just don't see it, you know. I don't see it. You know, even in high school, I remember I used to do the little Antcon arcade thing. People just don't really have hobbies that were interesting. They weren't really doing anything, you know. They just weren't, I don't know, doing anything. Not that I'm doing anything now, but that's kind of, there just doesn't feel like there's somewhere to join up and be like, oh, these are my people. This is kind of fun. This is a group worth being part of, you know. And that's kind of it. It's a barren wasteland everywhere. And yeah, I just don't see it, you know. That has been the difficulty, you know. That has been that sort of isolation from everywhere. That, yeah, none of this looks like it's worth anything, you know. Everything looks like total shit, to be quite honest. And it's right. I mean, you look around and it's like, okay, where is anything worth living for, right? Where is that? You know, I'm kind of content being out here, but it's always the same thing. No purpose to my life, you know. And again, part of that is, where do I go to? Where are people that I'm compatible with, that aren't just the normal, tedious people that just bore me to death, you know? Where is that? So, yeah, I guess that's the answer. That's what I've been thinking about for years, decades, I guess, that this just sucks, you know. Nowhere to be with, nothing to do, no one to be with, right? It's just kind of crap. And again, 8 billion people, maybe I'll find some like-minded people out of it, but, you know, it just doesn't seem like it, you know. And I mean, even out here, I noticed there's barely anyone out here ever, which is great because it's nice and quiet. But I don't know. I mean, where do you find people? And this has been, no, okay, hold on. I got a nice thought here. One of my resistances to moving out in the middle of fucking nowhere, so at least it's nice and quiet, you know, because these noise issues aren't recent. It's just I've been really annoyed by them. But, you know, back at the old house, back at the apartment, I mean, the leaf blowers were an issue there too. I remember it, you know. But my resistance to just saying, fuck it, I'll try to move out to the middle of somewhere nowhere, maybe build the basic things I need, is that I had to accept that, yeah, it's kind of all lonely and terrible and awful. You know, I've accepted that. I've kind of always figured, oh, well, if I'm kind of around people, sort of, maybe it'll be easier to find people. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. You know? Because again, I put out a book that's kind of not even that esoteric. It's just, hey, isn't it weird how back in the old days, you know, you didn't have this weird straight thing where everyone's assumed to not ever want, oh, you just read the book, who cares? You know, what's my point? Right, and there wasn't too much interest in it. It's not even, oh, you know, worship me, it's a great book, and I don't care for that. Why is it that there's nothing out there like this, right? Where people are just like, yeah, this sucks, we're going to build our own thing somewhere, and, you know, we don't really care too much for the usual hetero stuff. The gay stuff isn't that interesting either, to be quite honest. A lot of promiscuity, a lot of the effeminacy that, again, I just don't care for, you know. Where are these places, right? I mean, again, even for something as simple as, how about we don't do leaf blowers 24/7? How about we have a place where we can just talk about these banal, stupid, petty quality of life issues that are important? It doesn't exist. You don't know your neighbors. It's all bullshit, you know. So where is anybody to find? You know, again, you put yourself out there and it's just a wasteland, you know. And you know, and part of it has been, again, to accept that, yeah, it is pretty much a wasteland. Maybe things will change, but passively kind of going along and living in the same boring, empty, soulless places as everybody else, somehow that's not working, you know? And just for me to accept, oh yeah, it's pretty miserable, probably it's empty, probably nothing good is ever going to happen that's worth sticking around for, you know, I'll just move to the middle of nowhere and see how that works. You know, I'm at that point, right, where, you know, I just have to kind of accept that and say, yeah, I'll go there, and that's it. And again, with the internet and everything, I don't know, I put this stuff out there, maybe you'll find like-minded people. I'll find like-minded people at some point, who knows? Probably not. But again, where do you search for this stuff? You know, where's this connection that's going to come in? I just don't feel that anywhere, you know? Again, you don't have the kind of social cohesion for talking to neighbors about, how about you don't make fucking loud noises so you don't have a shitty, patchy looking lawn anyways. Right? I mean, this is the most basic stuff to me, right? Like, you can't move anywhere for this stuff, you know? And, you know, that's not, you know, again, you can move it to the middle of nowhere, find some place that's kind of far away from other people. But in terms of being around other people, where is this? Please tell me. Tell me a place where you know your neighbors. It doesn't exist. It's all empty shit. Right? So, I don't know. I guess that's kind of it. It's one of these rambly things I do sometimes, but it gets it off the chest, so that's good, I suppose. But, you know, where do you go to talk to about, yeah, everything's empty and horse shit, so, right. Like, no one wants to talk about that either. You know? And, right. So, yeah, I guess that's it. It's just, yeah, I'd like to be around people, but do what? You know, like, hey, I remember, you know, on those, when I put it wasn't just, oh, the book's great and go read my book, Grero, or whatever. It was, hey, let's go out to the park and throw a football around or something. You know, not that I'm Mr. Sports Ball athlete, but, you know, let's toss the ball around, okay? That sort of stuff. And nobody's really interested, you know? It's like, okay, I did toss these ideas out there. No one's interested, right? Like, I'm not a bad looking guy, fuck me, right? And, you know, even now, much less, let's insert, if I can find a picture of, I had a good picture from a while back, you know. Ooh, this was probably, what, 15 years ago now, for fuck's sake. Yeah, probably, if I can find it, it's from 2008. I think it looks pretty good. I was like, okay, so I ran a business, I wasn't poor. Let's see, I wrote a book, I'm literate, and how come I can't find like-minded people? You know, are you literate? Are you, you know, capable of doing 20 push-ups maybe a little more too, but I just don't see it. You know, these basic things, it's just, I don't know, you know, so. So I don't know what to say. I think we're kind of done here. Oh, it's not even that long, 13 minutes. Okay. But that's it. It's just, yeah, let me go on a date. Yeah, where, who, what, right? Come on. And again, I get that this stuff's real bitter and all this, but that's what it is, right? So then I'm what, dishonest? I lie about things. And again, I've been doing that for way too fucking long, right? You know, because you can never talk about these things, you know, and, yeah, so that's unfortunately it, is, and now it's, I can't even say, oh, you know, back in 2008, 9, 10, when I was still interested in this stuff, and maybe trying to pursue some people or whatever. Even when I wrote the book, I put that up, 2013. I ran out of steam, 2014, with this stuff. So yeah, I could say, hey, I ran this business, it's doing fine, now I'm writing a book. Well, I haven't done anything in 10 years, unfortunately, because I just kind of gave up. Because again, nothing to be a part of, nowhere to go, nowhere to show up. You know, it's like I feel like I'm a ghost in this miserable shit planet, you know? There's nothing to do. There's nothing that gives me any purpose. You know, day to day, it's fun to come out here. You know, it's fun to have a little quiet and not have, you know, the mediocre leaf blowing every patch of fucking grass that doesn't need to be blown every other day, right? It's nice to be out here. You know, I'm kind of content, you know, with this stuff. And if it's sunny and not, no, if it's sunny and not too, yeah, if it's not too wet and raining, you know, it's great to come out to these places. So that gives me a bit of contentment. I'm not, you know, completely despairing and miserable when I'm out here. But in terms of long-term happiness or whatever you want to call it, yeah, where is that? You know, let me see, there's a little clearing here. Okay. So that has eluded me. I have not been able to show up anywhere and say, oh, this looks interesting. And nothing does. You know, it looks like there's some people here with a dog. And, oh no, it's a small child waddling. So I'm not sure how much we can talk about this. Let me put it on pause until I pass them up. You know, let's pause it. Okay. All right, so we just passed the coughing child. And there we go. So that's the problem is, okay, let's go on a date. Fantastic. Where, who, what? You know, and to bring these questions or to bring these attitudes up, again, people don't want to hear this. And I don't even blame it. It is pretty miserable. You know, hey, come join me in my misery. That's not exactly a good tagline for these things, right? And maybe I'm also, because I haven't found anywhere that's good enough to be a part of or whatever, you know, maybe I'm just figuring things out. And I need to, so I've always wanted to talk about these things, but there's not much to talk about. What you can talk about is everything sucks, it's miserable, there doesn't seem to be any point to anything. There's no genuine contentment of, oh, this is a life I can live, you know, here's what I do. Here's the people I'm around. Let's have a nice quiet pool that doesn't have fucking ass-blasting music like at the gym's pool in the summer, you know, and then they don't heat it properly in the winter, you know. It's been like super cold, so I'm kind of forced inside, but sometimes that doesn't matter, right? But there's no place, again, to show up to. You know, it's all just kind of miserable to me. And again, maybe, you know, just figure this out, talk about it. But again, not much to talk about. Right? Everything kind of sucks. Have you figured out something that doesn't suck? Eh? Yeah, okay. So that's unfortunate, you know. Because I've thought, okay, I put myself out there. You know, I say what I believe in, and to some degree I did that with the book, and it was a big, no one gives a shit. I mean, I guess maybe 3 people who listen to this might have some passing interest in the topic, but again, not to go back in the same circles over and over. Where is everyone? Right? You know, it just doesn't seem like there's anyone out there, or again, as we talked about, a community or any kind of group or anything, you know. And what's scary with the internet thing is it's like, okay, tons of opinions are out there, tons of different ways of being are out there, and you still don't see it. There's no address to show up at, right? You know, I mean, for fuck's sake, you look at these big liberal cities and, you know, they're hopscotching around human poop, and you know, the homelesses are setting up tents in the cities over there. It's like, okay, you can't solve basic problems like that. And, you know, shockingly, you know, there's nowhere to go to. You know, people cannot solve these basic problems like, how about there's not human shit all over the streets, and we don't use leaf blowers that are obnoxious all day long. You can't solve these issues, you know. So I guess that's it. I mean, you know, I can go over the same thing a million times, but you know, that's kind of it. Is I just haven't found anywhere to be around with. When I put myself out there a little bit and talked about the Grero thing, people just weren't that interested in it. And not only that, I don't see anyone else doing it. I don't want to write about it more. I want to do it. Like, are there guys who figured out, hey, you know, this female stuff, you know, chasing around these hoes, maybe that's not the most interesting thing. A lot of the gay stuff's not that interesting. I don't know, let's go throw a ball around somewhere, eh? Let's have a club where the pool is always warm and there's no shitty music around, huh? No. So, you know, and then the other stuff I want to talk about, I mean, you know, I've kind of hinted at it, the whole suicide stuff, right? Because it's pretty miserable, so that's one answer, huh? I actually have tapes when I was really suicidal back in 2015 or something, you know, as opposed to when I'm not, right? Okay. But, you know, I've actually, you know, recorded some of that stuff, you know. It's nothing too dramatic or whatever. But okay, release that. Yeah, okay, who the fuck is attracted to that horse shit, you know? You know? So it's like, oh, be yourself. Yeah, okay, that's myself. You want to hear me, you know, crying more about my life? Okay, well, there's plenty more. Okay, that's not very attractive, is it? You know? And then when you say, well, I think it's all empty and miserable because, again, aforementioned human shit everywhere and leaf blowers everywhere, right? That tells you that there's zero social cohesion anywhere. It's not just me. It's not like I'm some kind of shy autistic retard, you know, who can't find people because, oh, my social skills, you know. It's like, no, I think people are just kind of empty, you know. There's no social cohesion, you know. Where, again, you cannot solve basic problems like human shit in the streets or leaf blowers, right? These are two idiotic things that shouldn't be happening, and yet here we are, right? So, yeah, not to belabor the point, although I guess that has been the main thing here, going in circles, but I guess that's also a good way to sum up, yeah, my life and this recording itself. Yeah, it's just going in circles, right? But, so yeah, to answer the question about, what was the thing here? Go on a date or something. Well, yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's, you always try to write it off. But I'd be willing to bet you jizz your pants if tension started building over the man you thought was passable. Well, yeah. But again, it's more than just, it's just more than the Grero thing. It's the, okay, it's not about one person, but a whole community, a whole. Here we are doing the same thing over and over again. That's fine, you know. And yeah, that's just it. You know, it's just it feels like there's no moves to make. You know, I don't look back and say, oh, I regret not doing this, because I think I played it pretty well. You know, it's difficult. The frustration is that I just don't see what to do. You know, I can articulate these very depressing thoughts even more, but there's not that much to say. It's just everywhere's empty. People can't solve basic problems like human shit in the streets and leaf blowers. That tells us that there's zero levels of anything worth calling a community, and that's it. You know, there's nothing to tap into, there's nothing to join. And maybe I'm at the point where it's like, fuck it, I'm going to go in the middle of nowhere. As long as I can build a pool there and like a sauna and a small house, fuck everything else, we'll try that. You know? Because those are the only things I care about in civilization, really. Is I need a pool, the sauna's pretty cool too, and that's about it. And maybe a roof over my head, you know? Maybe the pool's gonna be more expensive and larger than the house. Let's have that, okay? You know, and then I'll be there alone or something, right? Maybe I'll get a dog because there'll be enough space for a dog, you know? Okay. Well, so So yeah, that's it. I mean, I know I've said that's it, but yeah, that's it. And I'll put some of the videos that I've done today at the trail end here. There was a lot of trash everywhere and a giant barrel, but you'll get to see that now. All right, I'm an hour into the trail, and on the other side, that's probably private property. We see some people. Bicycle. And I don't think there's any easy way to cross, because the river, as you can hear and see, is filled with water. It's been raining a lot. I actually was like, 2 minutes ago looking on the map before I heard them here of, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, it'd be interesting to see who owns the other side of it. There's a little old-timey subdivision here, It's not too suburby. I think that guy has a fishing pole. Okay. He's getting away now. I saw some other people as well, but yeah, they're on the other side. I thought it was people kind of coming up here. Because I just posted that picture on Instagram and saw a comment, which it might be a good time to talk about it, because I did want to talk about the comment on Instagram. Let's see here. It's a really weird trail that doesn't really go anywhere. I think it might be able to cross over to the other side if there wasn't this much water here, but this is the end of the park I'm in, officially. Okay, so we're back here, right? This is the thing I just posted. And, yeah, because there's a trail here. I mean, there's a trail going here. I don't know how far this one goes. But if you look behind me, you can see that it looks like a trail, right? Yeah. And here too, let's see, like, oh, see, it looks like a trail. It is a trail. And let's see here. It's nice and peaceful and cold. Anyways, I did want to do a comment on the, or just kind of respond to that, because I've been thinking about these things for a long time. And, let me do it a little later. Oh, hold on. We gotta get this in. Hold on. There is something like a chair, or looks like a chair, some kind of the back of like a range or something. Who knows? Let's see how far this goes, and then I can head back, because I don't want to be here after dark. Anyways, let's see here. Anyways, I might just take the picture I took and put the that message on there and just do a voice recording, because it's kind of awkward holding this, and I don't think anyone needs to see my face for these things. But yeah, maybe we'll add this to the end. I don't know. We'll add this to the end. So anyways, that's it. Yeah. All right, so that thing was actually a fridge. We might put a picture in as well. But has anyone lost the world's biggest fucking barrel? Look at this. It's huge. I don't even know what the hell this is, Look at this thing. You could probably fit somebody. Oh, okay. I hope nobody's in there. Ooh. Okay. Right. See. What the hell is this? It is huge. Even if you zoom it out to half, it is just ginormous. Quicksand? Quicksand? No? Okay. There's some other things here. There's like a house right across from here. I think we're still on park lands over here, but... Oh, I think either a bridge that used to go across here or just some random stuff that washed up. See how that works? All right. Let's see here. Ooh, looks like there was an industrial spill. Look at the different colors here. That might have just washed here. Look at the tires. Anyways, I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. All right, it's nice and pretty, right? I've successfully climbed the world's largest missing barrel. That's just, it's a giant thing here, right? It's kind of plasticky, but I don't know, it's fun to climb.